For decades, the gateway to high-end gaming was a physical purchase. If you wanted to play the latest titles, you had to spend $500 on a plastic box like this one. Production followed a similar gate-kept logic. Developing a major title often required a $200 million budget and a staff of hundreds, while tech giants like Meta attempted to lock users into massive, closed ecosystem virtual worlds. This chart tracks the market for those physical consoles. By June 2026, sales plummeted by 42%. The hardware-centric model that defined the industry for 40 years began to lose its grip on the mass market. This shift was accompanied by a series of high-profile pivots. Meta officially pulled the plug on its multi-billion-dollar Horizon Worlds project, and major AAA studios began laying off thousands of junior developers as their traditional development cycles struggled to remain profitable. These events suggest a redistribution of influence. As the demand for dedicated hardware shrinks, the leverage once held by console manufacturers and massive publishers is moving toward more decentralized tools and platforms. The cost of building a digital world is dropping. Generative AI tools can now render complex environments, like this rainy forest, in seconds based on simple inputs. This allows a single developer to handle tasks that previously required a full team of level designers. An indie creator working alone can now produce graphical assets on a scale that rivals traditional major studios. This flowchart compares how we interact with characters in those worlds. In 2023, you chose from a fixed dialogue tree. In 2026, NPCs use dynamic AI models to generate responses in real time, reacting directly to the player's microphone input. Single-person studios are now releasing polished, innovative titles in less than a year. It is a production model that directly competes with the multi-year, high-overhead schedules of traditional publishers. Access to these games is also moving away from local hardware. By mid-2026, 185 million users are accessing their libraries entirely through cloud service subscriptions. Most mid-range smart TVs now ship with powerful decoding chips that handle the heavy lifting. You connect a controller directly to the screen, and the game runs via a distant server, making the physical console beneath the TV unnecessary for many households. This focus on the cloud is changing release priorities. Major titles, like Grand Theft Auto 6, are now being optimized for unified cloud architectures first, even if it means delaying traditional PC ports to ensure the streaming experience is stable. The focus has moved past hardware performance specs. The primary competition now centers on who can provide the most stable server infrastructure and the most frictionless subscription access. Our physical connection to the game is changing as well. This schematic shows a biometric wristband tracking sweat and heart rate, feeding data directly back into the game engine to replace traditional button inputs. In a horror game, this allows for a feedback loop. If the sensors detect your heart rate is too calm, the engine can lengthen shadows or spawn monsters to specifically target your biometric response. While these sensors change physical interaction, decentralized Live 3 platforms are changing digital ownership. Users are moving towards platforms that use smart contracts to track assets, allowing for ownership that exists independently of a single company's servers. Players are interacting with games on a more granular level. They are using their own biological responses to drive the experience, while utilizing decentralized networks to verify their digital property. The 2026 landscape is defined by this distribution of tools. Development power is no longer restricted to those with massive capital, and access is no longer tied to specific pieces of hardware. However, this model introduces a vulnerability. When a central server connection is lost, a digital library instantly dissolves. If a cloud provider shuts down, years of progression and an entire digital archive disappear. You are essentially renting your memories. There is also the matter of privacy. Linking a brain-computer interface or a heart rate monitor to a cloud server grants a corporation access to your intimate biometric and emotional data. Additionally, this future is gated by infrastructure. For gamers in regions without high-speed 6G or fiber optics, the shift toward the cloud makes high-end gaming effectively unplayable. As the physical discs and consoles fade away, the central debate in gaming is no longer about graphical power. It's about whether players will maintain the rights to the media they love, and how much of their own biological data they are willing to trade for the convenience of the cloud.